it's quite a stressful situation just to be there, because you have so many people counting on you, and for McLean to go through what he had to go through is mind-boggling, and to deal with just the pressures of the World Cup finals is one thing, but to also have this added pressure of them trying to get you, which it seemed like they had an agenda from day one, for me is really shocking.
I never saw a horse being tested during the trials for the hypersensitivity.
Right.
I saw them check for boots. I saw them check for, they pull blood, whatever they do. But all of a sudden, this was the new thing.
Sure.
I felt that if every horse would have been tested as they walked out of the arena during thermal, during wherever they have their qualifications, then that would have made sense to me.
For me, the hardest thing is if you're McLean, whether you like him or you don't, he's one of the greatest riders we've ever had. His father's has managed his career beautifully. Lee has managed him beautifully. It's such a great team, and for it to get ripped away for something that there was no proof, and I think the hardest thing is going to be the ramification if you're McLean. This really reminds me a lot of the situation of Michael Matz. I remember when Michael was quitting. It was one of everybody's idols, and I asked him. I said, "Why are you quitting?" And he said he just can't deal with the politics anymore.
My thoughts are that there isn't one person who was what I consider a peer that was on this group that I could see. There wasn't one name of the ground jury that were professional horsemen. How can you have fair sport if those people haven't done it? If they don't do that themselves on a daily basis?
There's always a rule on top of a rule, like you were saying, and it becomes to the point where you're going to dishearten a great rider. I mean, if you're McLean, how are you going to continue?
How is he going to go to the World Championships? What panel's there? Is it maybe the same part of the same group of non-professional horsemen going to make those judgments? Are they not going to go straight to that horse's ankle and start poking? And we already know now she's sensitive there. 2, irritation.
Yeah.
So why take her?
I mean, it's
the horse that should be there, probably the most important horse that should be there for everybody. That's whether you're German, you're French, you're Italian, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
That horse is a great horse.
Knowing McLean, if you know McLean well, you would understand. He knows he's good.
Yeah.
He lets you know he's good. He's that guy that's going to go into a fight telling you he's going to beat you up, and he does.
Yeah.
And that's what irritates people about him, is that he's good. He tells you he's good. He shows you he's good. But you can't punish a man for that. I don't want him to go down the Michael Matz route, because this guy, he's young enough. We're the same age, and he's at a level where he can. I mean, he hasn't even hit his stride yet.
No.
He's only climbing, and I just hope that they don't have this stigma of him that he's, just because he's that good, he's a cheater.
I think they've got to do something. This has got to be judged by our peers. What are we doing? I mean, why wouldn't horsemen be judging horse competitions? And I mean, yes, I'm sure they're involved in it. I'm sure they're very nice people, but they don't live this business.
But for me, my biggest concern is when you have great combinations in the sport, Jem Twist and Greg Best and Milton and John Whitaker, and you have all these incredible old pairs that you've seen over the time. I think McLean and Sapphire are at that level, and for us to stand by and let them have an asterisk next to their name, because as if they were cheaters when they did nothing other than dominate in the most difficult era of sport, of show jumping. They're dominating at the hardest level I've ever seen.
At the hardest time. Yeah.
Hardest time. So we should be applauding, not trying to. And for me, if McLean came tomorrow and said, "I quit," I don't know anybody that could that could say anything other than he's won his medals. He's won everything he can, if you're going to treat him like this and make him feel horrible for being incredible, I think that's very difficult. Whether you like him or you don't, whether you like Barney or you don't, you're not allowed to judge them for any other reason. That's what makes sport great. You know, if every one of us was the same personality, it'd be very boring. I'm an outspoken person. You know, if I don't like something or somebody, I go directly and tell them. McLean and Barney have their own personality. Mm-hmm. They don't want to have 100 million friends. They don't really care. They want to do their sport and they want to do their job. So I really, for me, it's sad because I could just tell, you know, it disheartened him. And I hope not too much, because I think there's a lot of people that are going to rally behind this and make sure it doesn't happen to him again, because that was totally unfair.